After show. After show. After show. Carefully. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the after show. So before we jump into like our thoughts and everything, I thought I'd try to backtrack to see what the origin of this idea was. Do you remember?
Well, actually, the original idea was we were going to make an iron pickaxe.
Yeah, we were thinking of welding projects.
We were trying to think of welding projects we could do, and we were like, oh, if we get some like square
tubing of some sort, yeah.
We could cut it into cubes, like open-ended cubes, and weld it together. And we were thinking of it more because we were trying to think of something we could do with metal. Yeah,
and we were thinking we could actually take it like to a field or something somewhere and actually try to mine with our Minecraft pickaxe.
Yeah,
using the metal and stuff.
But then doing the diamond one with resin just sounded way more fun. So we abandoned the original idea.
And who wants an iron pickaxe?
I mean, if you can have, I mean, it would be cool because it would be like usable, but it's like, come on. It glows in the dark. It's so cool. It's really cool.
I'm really, really happy with it turned out. So we're recording this after show, like right as we're wrapping up the video. It's Tuesday, my dudes. And, And we're just trying not to get our expectations up too high because we love this video. There seems to be a lot of hype online when we have shared the teasing things, and it's a trending topic, and it's just like...
And Minecraft has been something that we've been super enjoying.
Yeah.
So it's like the perfect combo.
And we've tried some new things on this video that I think worked out really well.
Some new editing style.
Yeah.
We've been watching a lot of Sophia on YouTube, and she does a very good job of like stitching things together with like voiceover, but in a way that doesn't feel like a voiceover. It's like very intertwined with real-time footage, but it helps structure things. So we tried doing that with like the cave.
Well, also the first time that style entered this video is we had done our very first round of these light pixels and it failed. And we had recorded and edited that scene at length.
Yeah.
And then we were like,
it just seems like a really long scene, like, because we knew it was going to be kind of repetitive between the dark crystals and the light crystals already, because it's kind of similar, but we still wanted to show a little bit of stuff.
Yeah.
And then having the first attempt at the light crystals fail, then we're like, gosh darn it, now we're going to have 3 resin scenes that are all very similar, so how can we speed through this first one and make it more interesting?
Yeah, so Caitlin was like done with editing at that point, and I sat down and I just tried like some voiceover and then keeping in the initial bits of the video that made it good. And then Caitlin took that and took it to the next level and brought more in and intermixed them even more. And
lots of non-linear editing, basically, which is different from what we normally do. Normally everything's very linear and it is edited as it happens. But going back and recording things like when we did the stages of grief. Yeah. Like, we had already demolded and seen everything. Obviously, we already knew it was going to be bad when we were recording the 5 stages of grief scene. So we were recording something later, but putting it in the video earlier. So that's like non-linear editing. And it can make things feel fancier and more finished in a way.
Or it can make it feel fake if you do it wrong.
Or it can make it... It could make it feel fake, or it could like just get confusing, which I was kind of worried about, like going back and forth in time.
And we kept on, we worked on that one scene for a long time, for hours.
Yes.
Just to like get that balance right, because I think that since we have higher expectations for this project a little bit, or higher hopes.
We put a lot more time into the edit.
We put a lot more time into the edit, and I think that made our expectations go even higher. So it's kind of like a self-fueling cycle because, since we're trying to get this video to a broader audience, we're also trying to balance, like, for our core audience that likes the making and likes to see the process, we're trying to include enough of that, but not too much of that, so that people who aren't part of the maker community get bored. So it's like a fine juggling act.
That's kind of what we try to do with every video, honestly.
Yeah, but also in this one, we're also, on the new side of things, we're trying to balance people who understand Minecraft
and people
who don't. So it's like there's a lot of tightropes we're walking this time, more than usual.
I thought it was super fun going to the cave.
It was so fun. I'm glad we went the extra 200 miles plus.
How many times have you used that joke?
All the times I could, I have used it. and how tired are you of it?
It's okay.
Not bad yet?
I'm only tired of it on behalf of anyone else who has heard it multiple times. I love it, though. I think it's a great joke.
That's so convincing. I'm convinced. I think that you went the extra 200 miles in your convincing that it... Moving on. I wrote some things down.
Oh, for the cave?
For the caves, yeah. So yeah, I guess in general, one thing that was interesting is the whole reason we did this skit at the end with the cave is because I was just like in brainstorming mode one day, and I thought of the skit at the beginning of the video, which we actually didn't do. And then that carried over to the skit at the end, but we mixed them. So the original idea is, after I have an idea when we're on the couch, it would go into a dream sequence of us like playing Minecraft, but in real life, like punching trees and getting cubes and like crafting it at the crafting table. And then the dream would continue at the cave later on. But then we're like, well...
It's like there's already kind of an intro skit where we come up with the idea.
Yeah, and we don't want to cut anything out of the cave scene because we had already ideas for the cave scene. So... had we thought of going to the cave before I had the idea of the intro skit? Okay.
Yeah.
How did we come up with the idea for the cave then? Like, what inspired that?
Oh, well, it was separate.
It was separate?
We came up with the whole idea for the cave first, and then when you came up with the skit, you were like, oh, and then we could tie it into the cave. And have like a fast forwarding of the dream sequence of the skit right before we get to the cave, like we're continuing the dream. But it just seemed like too much skit. Because you have to balance like the fluffy parts and the non-fluffy parts.
Well, also, we recently watched a video. We won't say whose video it was, but it seems like
it's a channel that we like a lot.
It's a channel that we like a lot, and they make good content. But it was one person's kind of like baby, this series, and he just went all out and did every single idea that he had. And because it was all of the ideas, most of the ideas got diluted and confused by the other ideas. There wasn't one like consistent theme throughout the whole video that like has a start, finish, and end, or like some arc or anything like that. It was just like
it's like
chaos.
They said yes to every idea, and we didn't want to say yes to every idea and have it all like competing
against each other.
But yeah, it was funny. Our tour guide knew what Minecraft was.
Yeah.
Which was cool, and she was like, I need to know the story of this. We also sort of got in trouble, but only once, and it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, because we were lagging behind taking photos and stuff.
We were lagging behind the group, and she was like, I'm going to have to ask you guys to stay with the group. And we're like, oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
And then from that point on, we made sure we weren't the very, very last ones.
But I think that in general, that was our first experience of filming in like a YouTuber-y type scenario.
Like taking it out in public.
Yeah, it's like, it seems like that's...
We've taken things to like the park before to get final shots.
But it was for the purpose of the final shots, not for the interaction and the environment and like the people and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and we had hoped that we would get like some sort of reactions from people. I'm glad there were kids there because it was like, oh, kids will know Minecraft.
I think adults like looked at it and they're like, cool.
Yeah.
You know? But
they're
like,
not gonna like talk to you.
They're not gonna come up to you in excitement and ask you about it. Even the tour guide like didn't acknowledge it at first, and later on she's like, I know what Minecraft is, but I just need to like, why? You know? Well, like she had kind of an excuse because she was talking to each person, but like,
yeah.
Some groups didn't ask us about the pickaxe until we were just like right next to them and we were loitering with them to get photos, and they're like, did you make that?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. You know, but like adults are more reserved and they knew that we were doing something with it. But kids are like, I want to touch that. I want to see that. I want to get excited and I want to chat with you and stuff. So it was really cute and fun.
Yeah, it was cute. But yeah, it was interesting like trying to film because, you know, you don't want to show people's faces. And this and that. I did have to blur a few faces, but all in all, you did pretty good in your like incognito. Like you don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, but you also like, I don't know, it's like a weird balance to strike. We figure we'll just like blur everyone's faces if their face shows up. That way it's like, I don't know, just play it safe. Yeah, play it safe just because,
play it safe. That's the best way to do it. And we want to respect everyone's privacies and stuff like that. And if they, I don't know, someone asks to be in our video, maybe, I don't know, we don't have any release forms ready or anything like that.
Thing where you film them and ask, like, and if you have it on video record.
I've heard that you can do that, but also technically, I think you're supposed to, like, sign a form.
Oh, jeez.
I know. And there is a form. We have a form. It's really interesting. Yeah. So on most other collaborations that we've done, we just go and we film the collaboration. But the Modern Rogue, since I guess they have a lot of, people on that aren't really from
team.
YouTube
Yeah.
and there's just normal people, like they have a form that you sign before you're in their film so that they have all their like ducks in a row and everything. I still have a photo of that somewhere.
Yeah.
That we've never used, but I have it just in case reasons.
I mean, you never know. Maybe we'll be doing more filming in public. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it went pretty well because there's a lot of unknowns. We're like, are we even going to be able to see in there? Are people going to be weird about us with the big camera? Luckily, it was like a tour where people take photos and stuff, and so it wasn't
think
too
of this,
weird.
we have the new camera that has like really good low light, super high aperture, or ISO limits and stuff like that, because this camera did pretty well, I think, but even it struggled. And this is a very expensive camera that has a very large sensor.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't even imagine what it would be like with a...
Like the old camera.
Old camera.
The M50.
Yeah, like the M50, it'd be like all grain, just like 100% grain.
Yeah.
And a little bit blurry, but
Yeah, I was worried about audio too, but we with the fanny pack method, it worked pretty well.
Yeah, I think the next time, the main thing that I wish I could have done is push the stop and start button more easily, but it's in the fanny pack and everything. So I wish I had just had a belt with all of my like a Batman belt with all of my receivers and audio recorder and everything all strapped to this utility belt. It would have been cool. It would have been more convenient mainly, but also Batman belt.
Yeah.
Now that would be a cool cosplay. You make a Batman belt, but it's just cameras, like the DJI Pocket and receivers and the zoom and everything.
Just all your gear.
Just all the gear, but it's black leather.
I don't know if it would register as Batman belt unless you were in a full Batman costume with it.
Okay, you've convinced me. Let's make a Batman costume outfit.
Yeah, we'll do
the sexy muscle one.
Oh yeah, the one with the built-in muscles.
Yeah. We'll put on a waist trainer underneath. All right, and with that, I think that's an appropriate place to end things. Thanks for tuning in to today's after show, and we'll see you next time. Bye.